Hey guys, it's your girl Wandika, originally from Jamaica, and I've completed April. I know I'm a bit behind in sharing it with you, but normally what I do is I'll take you through the whole books, even though I've done it week by week, and then I'll talk to you more about the final week. this is the final week, and I mostly stayed home, cleaned and marked papers. I just put down a lot of scraps, so that's how I use some of these scraps. So these are all from different things. Washi tape, and you know, I like to put down labels and so on. And this is just kind of snap of my dinner. And I didn't have any nostalgia per se. I did find one of these pictures I took from earlier in the month, and I didn't talk about it, so I thought I would talk about it, but I didn't get around to it. More labels. And then on Monday, I took a lot of pictures. I was testing if I could take pictures without my tripod, and so I put it on the desk and did kind of a timer thing because I wanted to show the outfit, but I couldn't show all of it, so it worked anyway. This is me in the office. I found this map of the university, you know. I thought it was good because, you know, it was the first day back after the spring break. So I love this picture. This wasn't a teaching day. I think I still went in. I think I went into school every day this week because it was the last week and I had to sort through a lot of things. But I'm liking, you know how I love this long sweater vest. Yeah, it looks good with everything. With most things. And then this was when I was at my elementary school. It was like primary or preparatory, Willowdene preparatory school, and I was giving the class president speech at graduation, and I just thought it was a good thing to talk about, you know, as one of my nostalgia bits, as I told you I've been doing in here. I was also the class president for the high school, so I continued to the high school. It was like both primary and high school on the same compound, and I just continued there. And my mom was the principal. And then I didn't go. I wanted to go, but I didn't end up going to the international, you know, festival. Yeah. This was a school day. I took a picture. I got some takeout. So stuff like that, as you've seen. I like to take pictures of what I ate, how I looked. You have the to-do list. Kind of give a blurb about what the day was like, you know. And even though I do have my personal journal that I now write more things in that I can't really share with you, I still try to do that in here. This was another nostalgia bit. This was when I was leaving. I was teaching at the university in Jamaica for about 3 years before I came to the US, and this was a surprise kind of send-off that a few members of the department held. This is the chair, and I thought it was a good thing to put in here because most of the things that I talk about in this book, there are things that talk about a change in my life, a new thing happening, so I wanted to keep that theme going. Had a lot to mark. Sometimes it's painful to grade, so I use that emoji. You know, but then I said, you know, it's the last week, so I should cheer up. This was the full outfit. And as I said, I tried to keep labels. And this is because I need to drink more water. I have a juice addiction, and it's bad because I'm diabetic, and so I have to drink more water. So I'm weaning myself off that by drinking these flavored water that has no calories, and it's just a dash of flavor and no sodium. I really like this one. So I wore these all week, so I thought they should be featured. Now, I didn't go to display, but my friend Jason, he gave me this. I said to him that, you know, he was looking through some stuff and he found this, and I said, why don't you smash it? But of course, I'm the one who smashes things, and he's like, you should have it. So he gave me, and I found this on a poster. It was an evening of dance, but since this is a play, I was gonna find something and write an evening of drama, but I didn't find anything, and I didn't go back to work on it. I probably will just spell it out by cutting out different letters. I'll do that later, but I thought it was good to put it in here because I did see one of his plays, but I didn't see this one, so it's the only thing that's in here. Like if I put like a poster or tickets and stuff like that, it's usually that, you know, I've seen it and stuff, but I think it, you know, it's fine to be in here as a keepsake. And then Friday, here's the nostalgia bit. This was my master's graduation. They had all the flags representing students from various countries, so I went and I found the Jamaica flag, of course, and took a bunch of pictures there with my family. And you see the glee on my face. And this was, somebody took this for me. I didn't even know she was taking it. And it's just the moment when, you know, you get your snap and you collect your folder. I mean, you don't get the degree until a couple weeks after, but I thought this was a good shot. And so I journaled a little bit about that. You know, it wasn't easy. I was homesick a lot. It was the first time I was living in the States, even though I'd visited. So it was a very, very new experience to be here as somebody living and not just visiting, because there is different expectations. For the first 7 months, I was just like terribly homesick. But I was there for a reason, and I got my degree, and now I am at this university getting my PhD. Oh, here it is. This was from the calendar, and I wanted to keep it because I liked the images. I don't know if I will use that, but okay. I did take pictures this day, but I forgot to put them in here. I'm gonna put them in here later. And then I found this in my stash of scraps when I was young, and because I don't really have any real pictures for it, I think you could still talk about it as a nostalgia bit. I went and got a few things, and so some things I haven't completed because sometimes I get super busy and I didn't get to do all the things I need to do. This was a scrap where I like both sides and I wanted to show them, so I just love washi taping stuff in, but I just have to remember this is why I have 2 volumes instead of 1, and I think I'm gonna have to do that for my May book. And I also took pictures here, but I didn't put it in, so I'm going to finish this, but it was catching up on me. I took out the evaluation because, you know, I think I had to take off a page, and so this came off, but I wanted to keep it because it's really good questions that as an educator you should ask yourself, you know, to see how well you've done. And I did reflect on that because, you know, coming to the end of the semester, students doing evaluations, I really thought about my own. And so that's it. Sometimes I feel sad when a book ends because I carry it around for a whole month, or I just feel it's like right there when I need it. But it's a new month, and so I'll just show you similar setup. It's smaller, like back to the March size, and I'm thinking of doing 2 volumes because the last time, the reason that I had to change it was that it got really bulky and started to curve, and I hated that. And so this was what it was made out of. So I'm going to do another one to prepare for that new volume. So I'm going to do the same thing, so this way I won't have to worry about bulk. I can put as much as I want in it, and that I think is the best thing. So of course, pockets, because when I don't have my stash with me, I like to have a few things in case I have a free moment and I want to document it. This is good because it keeps track of what bills I would need to pay and so on. Of course, we have the calendar, and this is really important because I need to know at a glance, because when I did not do my journals this way, and you know, the month started to go and it was backed up, I forgot things. So this is very important as well. The first day was so like eventful because I was doing the exhibition for my students. As you guys know, I was teaching a class that merged art and literature, and so I thought as a final project I would give them the option to do a creative piece with a visual art, poem, short story, and also if they wanted to do just a straight paper they could, and people did that. So I took a few shots. I wish I had done a video, but I was like, you know, when you're organizing everything you can't always be videoing it, so I thought, you know, that was a big oversight. But you know, back to a more colorful kind of style. The other one was more vintage, even though I did splash a lot of color in here because I can't help myself. But this is just like gonna be very artsy because I did use some of the same paper from the March book, if you remember, the same, you know, draw inspire pages that I've used here. And so I love this idea because it's a fun way to put, and an easy way and a flat way to put 4 pictures at a time. So I washi taped in some those album, you know, those album leaves. I had taken apart an album and I had these, and I was wondering how I would use it. I also thought that maybe I would sew them in. I think I'm gonna do this for the second volume, where I'm gonna sew them in to every section so that I can slip 2 pictures in and I won't have to worry about getting washi taping in because I think the material that it's made from, it's, I don't know, it's not conducive to this tape. So, and I tried to put some clear tape on it, but it's not working. I'm thinking I'm going to just staple it. Anyway, so I had a guest book at the exhibition, but the problem was that not many people knew about it and not many people signed it. So what I did was I just took them out and put them in here because, you know, it was just a few pages, and it's good. I can always look at it and feel happy because students really appreciated it, and you know, those who made comments said they really enjoyed it. And Jason helped me put up a lot of the pieces. It was a bit of pandemonium because the room, I like to do things long in advance. I like to prepare, but the room wasn't ready until 4:30 because they had an exam in there and we were supposed to start at 5, and so when I came at 4:30 we kind of had to scramble. And so I was so glad to get a lot of help from the students to organize the room and so on. So, and of course I went back to this model because it's not vintage, and so I used that other paper for the vintage book, but since we're going back to the artsy kind of feel, I use this again. And so this was all the stuff that I needed, a checklist for the exhibition. This was things I had to do that day. I used a lot of that that washi tape, those washi tapes that are very artsy. You've seen some of them before in the March book. Here are some of the students looking at work, and presenting their work. I wanted to have more space because I knew there would be a lot to say and do on this day. So here is the brochure or the program that I made, because we looked at Matisse, we looked at Tamara de Lempicka and Vermeer, and these were the artists that the writers were inspired by, and so I put those in there because sometimes the writing was based on these paintings and sometimes it was based on the book itself and so on. So some more snaps. I did a group shot. This is the second class here that I've ever taken a group shot with. I always feel a bit strange asking them, but because this class I think was a bit different and we had just had an event, I thought it was appropriate to have a group shot and some of the work in the background, and I took a few people by their work, and yeah. And this is yesterday. Not much, you know, it was sort of a blue day, and it's interesting because here we have some waves, and I'm gonna use some white and emphasize these. I think it might be a nice touch to kind of, you know, do that. So it has more of an animated feel. I don't know, maybe I'll leave it as is. But this was from that calendar you guys saw from when I was using that in the March book. So a lot of the things that I did in the March book, I think I'm going to do here because I like that style. And then I'll go back to the Smashbook sides. And then I haven't done anything for today yet. But this is actually supposed to be a wall sticker. But when I saw it at the dollar store, I thought, well, this is a quick way to have an interesting feature on my page. So I got 2 of these, and I've put one in my personal journal, you know, so I can look at it when I need to cheer up, if anything. So I'm gonna complete that. So I haven't put down anything else, but it's gonna be definitely an artsy book like the March book was. Of course, I have another pocket at the back for more, and I like to put the dates in here, a few, so I do have a few cutouts of the dates, so quick access. And I made this envelope just like I made this one, really quick tutorial on YouTube that I saw, and works great. So that's it. I will come back when the week is done, and I'll show you the rest of the week, how I've populated it. And I also want to show you some journals, but right now I have been marking papers and finishing up with the semester, so that's why I haven't really put any new journals in my website, and I will definitely do that as soon as I have entered all my grades and finished a couple short stories I've been working on. And but there are lots of great journals still in the store. If you guys want to check that out, just go to wandikagale.com/web-store and see what's there. I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Walk good.